Hello, beautiful people. I am just going to let Zoom do its thing. Who can I see? Hi, Nikita. Hey, Mandy. Hello, Anna Marie. Hi, Leslie. Bernadette. Satnam. Kathy. Caroline. Joe. It is so good to see you all. We are live on Facebook, all being well. My track record for those that for those that don't know, is not great with Facebook. So let's just see what happens. And whilst we are all coming in, I would love to know a 1 to 5. So 1, don't push me today, Melissa. 5, I am feeling great and wonderful. And just pop it in the chat whether you're here on Zoom or whether you are here on Facebook. And we will get started in just a second. Okay. My live is not doing very well. Okay, I think I'm going to have to re-go live. Yes, I am. One moment, please, callers. Talk amongst yourselves. We are right here, right now, inviting you to get so present that there's nothing that matters outside of this space. We are right here, right now, simply naming where we are. Feeling where we are. And just saying, I am here. I am here. And I'm going to invite you to invite in the imagery or the feeling or the sensation of a flame. And so, whatever that means for you, just simply allowing, inviting, invoking a flame. Feel it, see it, know it in your body. And whatever has been going on, I want you to offer it to this flame. I want you to offer it, not to change it, not to let it go, not to burn it away, but simply to be seen and simply to be illuminated and simply to be here. And then just notice what happens, notice what becomes. And if it feels good for you, just say thank you. If it feels good for you, say I see you. And if it feels good for you, just ask it, what do I need right now? What do I need? For here we are in this time, in this space, in this moment, and I am here and I am present. And just let that be. And then when you're ready, just come back. Just come into this space. Just find yourself back here. You can open your eyes, or if it feels good, you can keep them closed. And I welcome you back to part 2, round 2 of the evolution of healing. For those that were here yesterday, we were introduced to a concept about how we are beginning to live in the Akashic field, how the healing space is evolving, and how things are changing, and what was working once upon a time, as we move into a new space, as we move into a new time, as we move into a new era, we began to realize that it's no longer about fixing. We began to realize that healing is actually one of the most fundamentally most important things that we can do. But only if we understand healing not as something to be fixed. If we understand healing not as this endeavor to go down because we are fundamentally wrong. What we spoke about last night, and the biggest teachings that I've had through my work in the Akashic Records, have been nothing is broken. Everything is an invitation. And everything is here perfect as it needs to be. And for me, for years, coming up to 2 decades now, I've been working in this space. I've had the privilege of working with many healers and intuitives and mentors and coaches, psychics, business strategists, intuitives, writers, and I've been seeing these patterns repeat themselves over and over again. And someone asked me today what my mission is, not what my mission is, what my business's mission is. And what I replied to her was, for me, it's so important that the work that we are doing as healers, as intuitives, as guides, that we are the change makers. We're the ones that are going to make the biggest difference in the world. And these diluted practices that I've been seeing, these things that look really fancy, but they don't really work, need to evolve and need to move into something new. The doubt that we hold, these perpetual cycles of fixing and of not feeling good enough and of imposter syndrome and of hiding our light, needs to stop. Because if we're here and we're standing in the forefront, we're going to be the ones that are going to usher the change in the bigger world. For me, yes, the work that we're doing is in the healing and the wellness and the business space. But actually, I think the moment that we realize that the work that we do, every single one of you who are sitting here and listening to this, it's the work that we do that's going to make the biggest difference in the world. Which means that we have a responsibility. Which means that we're the ones that can't keep going in these perpetual cycles of, I'm not good enough, I need to know more. And one of the things that I hear so often, and I'd love to know if this is you, give me a 1 in the chat if this is you, that we have this need, this desire to want to go and help other people, right? We want to be the healers, we want to be the readers, we want to be the coaches, but then somehow something stops us and we don't feel good enough. Somehow something stops us and we don't feel like we can trust ourselves enough. Somehow something stops us because we think, well, there's just one more thing that I need to learn. One. But how are we going to change the world if we're sitting behind something? One. Everyone's a 1. How are we going to change the world if we're not the ones that are coming and doing the thing? Well, I say no more. For those of you who are just joining us tonight, last night I revealed something that's pretty massive. And a little bit later on, I'm going to be speaking about that. But for the last 3 months, I've been working with the most incredible group of healers and intuitives and coaches and bodywork practitioners and teachers with something that's going to be answering everything that I just spoke about. Something that's going to be answering the problem that I've been seeing time and time again. Nadine said it's been amazing. Nadine is one of these incredible people. And the hardest thing about this has been keeping it a secret. The hardest thing about this has been not being able to tell anybody what it is that we're doing. And I know I made that decision, and it felt so big and it felt so sacred that it was something that needed to happen behind the scenes, that we needed to bring real people into this so that we could see the actual change that this was ushering. The results have been mind-blowingly incredible. And today, for the first time publicly, so those of you who are here on Zoom, hi. Those of you who are here on my Facebook, you can share this. This is public. This is going out. So grab a cup of tea, hunker in, and I'm going to take you on a little journey today. Okay. And today I'm going to reveal to you all the things that have been sitting behind the scenes. Who's excited? Give me a one in the chat. You're excited. But for now, thank you. 11. It is sacred and incredibly powerful. In fact, you know what? I'm just going to see which ones of my practitioners are here, because I want to name them, all of you that are here. So we've got Amy Riley. Give us a wave. So if you're on Facebook, you might not see them unless I pin you. I won't do that, don't worry. So we've got Amy Riley. Amy is one of my Soul School masters, and she's been working with me behind the scenes as well to help develop this thing that we're going to be announcing later. She was part of Soul School Part 1. Yeah, and she's here and has been part of this. We have got Nikita Bagdai. Hello, Nikita. Nikita's been having some very mind-blowing things happen to her. We have Anna Marie, one of my masters. She's going to be coming into the next cohorts. Who else can I see? I can see Joe Wilson, incredible Joe, who's been taking all of what we've been doing and really bringing it into the somatic sense. We have Mac McGregor, another one of my masters. She was also part of Soul School Soul School Round 1. And she's carried on working with me for the last 12 months and again has been part of the development of this system. We have Nadine. Say hello to Nadine. Nadine took the fastest action and was the first one to sign up to Akashic Reiki when I said it. Whoop. Ruad, you didn't hear that. And Melody. Say hi, Melody. Melody Headings. Melody is really helping people with their soul purpose, and I can really see how working with this system is really helping. So, should we get started? Oh, and I saw Stacia come in. Are you here, Stacia? There you are. I saw Stacia. Stacia, say hello. Stacia has been very dedicated to working in here. So these are my practitioners. These are my masters, and they will be here as well if you have any questions. I am frozen. Am I frozen? Am I okay? Am I frozen? I'm good. I'm good. I'm frozen. Good. I'm good. I'm a bit frozen on Facebook, unfortunately, but we'll get this going. It's fine. So, what I would love to do today, before we really move into the big announcement, I want to speak a little about something that I have really understood from working in the Akashic Records. So if you don't know, the Akashic Records are your soul's library. But more than that, there are this field that contains all of the soul's libraries that are there and that are available. And a lot of the work that I see around the Akashic Records very much is around who am I? What is my job here? What is my karmic influence? What are my past lives? And it comes very much from this space of sovereignty and this space of personal understanding. And as we discovered last night, this is something that is really important. And this is something that is, I'm just going to mute somebody. There's somebody not on mute, I think. Thank you. Whereas as I started to look in the field more, I began to understand that this isn't just about self. that when we look at the Akashic records from the space of the whole, we first of all understand that everything that we are, every challenge that we face, and every talent that we have is there's no coincidence. Every talent, every desire that we have, everything that we've ever faced is there for a reason, and is there for our evolution, and is there for our growth. But one of the questions that I asked was why? Why is there this field that records everything? Why do we have this library that sits and contains everything that we ever were? And as I began to work in the records from the personal point of view, I began to understand that everything was an invitation, that the purpose of having the records is growth, that the reason why we have all of this is we start to compound everything that we've been. And so we start to create this story. We start to fill our library, if you like. We start to gain volumes and volumes and volumes of experiences and understandings and virtues and talents and skills. And often it's the challenges that we face that are developing these skills and developing these talents. And often it's the challenges that we face that are also helping us resolve some of the karmic lessons, some of the life lessons, some of the soul contracts that we might have. And what I began to understand that was that nothing was a coincidence, that everything was there by design. And that this field, which is holding everything without judgment, this field that is holding everything as it is, neutral, yet containing these volumes that are ever increasing and forever duplicating and forever growing and forever evolving, that as we do this from our own space, from our own point of view, it's having a direct impact on the whole. That actually, whilst my purpose is about me and your purpose is about you, everything that we do in this field has this impact. So how they showed it to me was like this giant web, right? And each of us has this orb, if you like, which sits in each of the crossroads of the web, right? Can you picture that with me? Giant web, each of the crossings, there we are, one of us, and this contains our whole records and our whole library. As I begin to move and change in here, as my waiting in here begins to move and change, it starts to create a ripple or a vibration or a connection in with those to my left and my right and before me and behind me and all the way around. Just like if you were to flick, don't do this, it's not fair on the spider, but if you were to flick a spider or a web, right? So you see a fly goes into a web and the web's over there, there's no spider. But then all of a sudden it shakes and the spider comes running out. Have you ever seen that? Yeah? It's kind of the same thing. Not really. You're not a spider, you're not going to run out. But this vibration, this echo starts to happen. And so my curious mind started to wonder why. I started to ask that question. Well, what is the reason? What is the development? What is going on here? And I began to realize that not only is every challenge, every talent, every desire not random, that not only are all of those things part of our personal evolution path, but by us fulfilling this and by us growing, we are actually taking part in something a lot bigger than us, a lot greater than us. We're actually taking part in this grander tapestry. And those of us here, those of us who are interested in the healing path, in the guiding path, in this road less traveled, when the amount of times I hear questions such as, should I be doing this? Is this just ego? Who am I to be doing this work? Who's had questions such as that? Give me a 2 in the chat where you're like, oh, baby, I shouldn't be doing this. Maybe this isn't for me. Who do I think I am trying to create a healing modality? Oh my God. Or trying to create a business, right? So many of us. Yes. But what if those challenges, those talents, those desires, that want, that need, that pull to come and walk this path, this road less traveled, was here by design? Was here because you, with your unique set of circumstances, with your astrology, with your human design, with your karmic influences, with your parents, with your society, with your influence, with your way of speaking, with your neurodivergence, right? With your, like, whatever it is, right? Everything was put here because there's somebody here that needs your help. There's somebody here that has put a prayer out that this is my evolution path. And if we look at it from this grand tapestry, there's somebody up there. It's not really like that, but stay with me. There's somebody up there that's like, well, if she's going to go down there and she wants to do this, then their paths are going to cross. And so we're going to give her that desire. We're going to put this thing on her path. And she's going to find herself in her first Reiki training, or in a shop in Glastonbury, or listening to whatever. And we're going to put the 11:11 on her clock everywhere. It was 4:44 for me yesterday. And we're going to call her and she's going to hear it. And those doubts that she has, she's going to move through and she's going to get through. That, for me, that need to want to learn and grow and understand and just literally eat up everything that I can about spirituality and energetics. We're going to put that in her path, because as she does this, there's people here that need her help. You being here and you being interested in this work, you wanting to start a business or increase your reach or make more money or have more impact or get a handful of clients or support your friends and support your family was not a mistake. And I promise you, this is not ego and this is not coincidence. And this is not you just being like, well, I'll do this. Because why would we pick this path? Oh my God, why would we pick this? This is nuts, right? The witch wound is real. One thing I've learned in the records, the witch wound is real and it's there. And we have an invitation because it has never been safer in the whole of humanity, like, well, in the whole of the last few hundred years at least. It has never been safer to do this work. And so we're here, we hold this, we hold these echoes and we hold these memories. And I know personally firsthand that when I've healed witch wound aspects, when I've shown up, when I've done something, when I've created a whole freaking healing modality, that it's gone and had ripples beyond me. And it's not that because of me it was easy. The reason why I've managed to get here and the reason why I've been able to do what I've been doing is because I've started to change the way I think about things and started to change what actually becomes my guide. So who would like to do that? Give me a 3 in the chat. If you could trust that there's this divine blueprint that's been pulling you, and that the reason that you have what you have is because there's somebody there that needs your help. And that all that's standing in the way is you have these things, you have these programmings, you have these traumas, you have these beliefs, you have these understandings of the world that are literally sitting there like overlays above your divine blueprint, that we are using these as guides. What I did and the path that I've been on for the last 2 years is to work with these overlays, not to try and fix them, not to try and get rid of them, but to try and understand what is sitting in my psyche, what is sitting in my neurology, what is sitting in my belief system, what is sitting in my lens in the world that's making me stay small, that's stopping me from doing things, that are giving me doubts, that are giving me, you know, whatever it is. And rather than come from that lens, come from my divine blueprint. The most powerful thing that I've ever learned, and this was received directly from the Akashic Records, is it's been given to me for a reason. If I have a desire and if I have a download and if I have an intuition about something, just like when this modality started to come through me and all my overlays were screaming like, you can't do this, who are you? But somehow this, Crystal, get it back. This, my divine blueprint, the thing that has been guiding me and is true and is real and is whole and is strong. This is the truth. These are simply things that I am here to discover and overcome. And as I do this, that comes into my divine blueprint. That becomes part of my experience. That becomes part of my lesson. That becomes part of my growth. That becomes part of my library. It's no longer my guidebook. It's no longer the thing that's saying this is what you're good enough and this is what isn't. And the simple switch was, I realized that if it's for me, if it's come to me, then it's for me. And my job, not just for me, but I tell you what, it gives me fulfillment and it gives me growth and it gives me challenge and it helps stretch me and it gives me life force. Do you know what I mean by that? When you're doing something and you're just filled with life force, it does all of that for me. But it doesn't just do this for me. Because as I've done it, it's done something for Joe, and it's done something for Nikki, and it's done something for Anna Marie, and it's done something for Nadine, right? And as it's done something for Nadine, it's done something for her clients, right? It's all by design. You being here and you wanting to create this, your own healing modality, or your own spiritual business, or your own way of doing things. This is what we're here for. Because there's probably, what's there, nearly 9 billion people on the planet now, something like that. There's probably like 8.5 billion, I'm making numbers up, but stay with me, who don't want to do this. There's probably 8.999 million people that don't want to do, billion people that don't want to do this. But you have it. And what would change for you? I want you to put this in the chat. What would change for you if you knew that if it was for you, it was for you? If you had that solid belief that it's come through me, so it must be mine, and the only thing standing in my way are my challenges that I am here to help me grow, what would change? My energy keeps breaking the connection. I can see that the Facebook Live is going nuts, but I think it's stabilized. Before I hit live, my Wi-Fi just disappeared. Pop it in the chat. Let me know what would change for you if you knew that whatever it is that you want to do, it doesn't even have to be for spirituality, right? It could be traveling to a certain place. It could be supporting a certain charity. It could be starting a certain class. What would change if you knew that it was for you? If you're on Facebook, I can see some miracle. It's a Christmas miracle. I can see your comments. I shouldn't speak too soon. Caroline says, I just do things. I wouldn't question myself. Marina says, I'll shift the doubt and the self-sabotage. Amy says, freedom, engagement, excitement. Nikita says, the ability to trust and flow. Now, I'll tell you this, I have all of that. And I also have many of these sitting here. So it's not that the doubt goes away. It's not that the distrust just, or the trust just appears out of them, bestowed the trust upon you, right? It's not just that, freedom sits on my lap, but it's understanding that they're the truth and there's my birthright. And as I move towards this, which does take courage, which does take bravery, which does take contraction sometimes. This whole thing of, well, if it expands you, then it's yours. And if it contracts you, then sometimes we need to contract. You can't breathe out unless you've breathed in, right? Like there is this natural flow. But the difference is when we begin to understand our work and our life and our responsibility from an Akashic Records point of view, when we are coming from our divine blueprint, that this is who I am and nothing's broken. Because as I integrate all of these, not heal, not bypass, not throw them away, as I integrate all of these, this becomes bigger and stronger and more alive and more vibrant. And as I do this, it helps somebody else do the same. I've not got to where I've got alone. I've had mentors and teachers and guides and read books. And, yesterday as I was walking, I gave thanks to every single one of my teachers, paid or not, right? Formal teachers and not formal teachers, but we all have them. And their falters and their experiences and their life's work impacted mine. And had they have believed their overlays and their imposter syndromes and their whatever, I wouldn't have felt what I wouldn't have been able to come to where I am either. And what I learned is that all of this is by design. And if we're wondering what is the meaning of life, which is definitely something I ponder, maybe it's growth. Maybe that's it. Maybe that's our job, just to grow. But not to grow. We spoke yesterday about the oak tree, not to be an acorn and go, you know what I really want to be? I really want to be a bird. If I work really hard, and if I read all the books, and if I pay all this person all the money, maybe I'll be a bird. No, it doesn't matter how good a car you drive. This acorn will not be a bird. It might get eaten by a bird. Actually, maybe it could become a bird. But you get my point, right? The acorn will always become the oak tree. And so I wonder what your design is. I wonder what your perfection is. I wonder what the seeds are that sits within there with the desires that you have, with the dreams that you have. You know what? I'd love for you to put in the chat a dream that you have. Because we won't go into this now, but from an Akashic Records point of view, like the more we claim these things, the more we speak about these things, we're writing the records in every moment. And when it's in your head, it's in your head, and it will create a little wisp in your records. When you declare it and write it down and declare it in front of the, 7,000 people on my Facebook page, you're creating something. I'm going to read it out, because as I read it out and you hear it back, we're creating a stronger record. And when you say it out loud and you feel the feelings that you have in the body, that yes, maybe one day I will become the oak tree, it starts to create this compounding energy in your Akashic Records, in the field that is holding you and guiding you and helping you move. And sometimes all it takes is claiming it. So pop it in there. Caroline, to have a healing space on a Greek island. Maybe there's someone on a Greek island, Caroline, that needs exactly you and everything that you've been through. To have a healing space on a Greek island to help others create, grow, and thrive. What a beautiful dream. And I'm sure you've doubted whether that dream's for you, right? Marina, a multi-holistic healing space for many practitioners to work from. How beautiful is that? You help yourself. This is your dream. Do you know how many other healers are looking for a space that they can work from? And what it takes is for you to do that. Trusting my next steps, despite not knowing where it will lead, to create impact. And like Mac, as you create impact, you like impact's not just a word. It creates change and transformation in people. Amy, to be able to move through the world and support others with ease. Of course it should be with ease. And sometimes I know you hike, right? Not all hikes are a stroll in the park. I learnt that 400 meters up a mountain in Thailand and I thought I was going to die. It's all good. A full fat Pepsi saved my life. I never thought I'd be saying that, but right, sometimes we take the challenges. Sometimes there's a challenge in there, but we don't look at the hike and go, oh, it's not worth it. We know, because we know that there's something there. Melody, to get my signature program Soul Vibe out there so others can manifest and choose their soul purpose. Melody, I've seen what you're putting into the Soul Vibe program. And it's got the opportunity to change so much. And you know, you're part of this movement. And as you work with the Reiki energies and you work with the Akashic field, we begin to understand that this has been given to me for a reason. You could have chosen 100 things, and this is the one that you landed on. So what would you do if you knew that there's 25 people somewhere of the 9 billion on the planet, that there's 25 people somewhere that want to hear this and that need to go through this? What would we do and how would we behave? What would the blueprint tell you is the next step? And it's not always, we'll go write a post on Facebook. There's more than that, right? There's growth, there's understanding, there's investment, there's going to get ice cream, right? Our intuition works in amazing ways. Hayley, I would love to be on stage and act. How many times have you been to, I went to go and see Macbeth last month. I know everyone knows this. And I saw Sam Heughan, right? He's like the best actor playing Macbeth. And I watched people in that audience just being floored. And the emotion and the feeling and those 3 hours where we watched him act and become and live his purpose touched us. And it still lives with me. Had he not have done this, could you imagine if Sam Heughan wouldn't have decided to be an actor? How different my life would be. If you're in any of my programs, you will understand that Outlander plays a big part. And if you don't know who he is, you should go and watch Outlander. I'm going to show you something. One moment. This is who's looking at me. He's just there. He's just there in my I've not opened the book, but it is signed. Let's put him there. Hey Sam. Right? We don't do this alone. And sometimes when we're on this path, it can really feel like we are. But if you can take one thing from today, if you can take one thing from what we're speaking about tonight, just know that if you've got a dream and it's true, I'm going to go into this actually. If you've got a dream and it's true, it's this desire, it's there, it's not leaving you alone, and it's coming from this, then the reason why you've got it is because someone else needs it. And all of those things that are standing in your way is not because there's something wrong with you. It's because there's something trying to emerge through you. There's something that wants to develop through you. There's something that, there's an invitation there, if you like, that wants to be strengthened through some of the challenges that you face. Because what I've seen through my psychotherapeutic work, but also through what I've seen in the records, is there's two simultaneous ways of living. And the truth is we probably run through both a lot of the time, but it's the weighting of it. So one way is through the divine blueprint. This is what we're talking about when we say I have a higher wisdom. This is what we're talking about when we say I'm trusting my intuition. This is what we're talking about when we're moving into our mission, when we feel this compulsion, when we're in the zone, when we're doing things that go beyond logic, when we just feel like I could do this all day long, even if it's hard, even if we're hiking up a mountain, right? I went scuba diving a couple of weeks ago, and it was hard, but it was magical. I had to retrain myself because my programming, yes, my overlays, my unconscious mind was going, "What? You're meant to breathe through your nose and you can't. You're not meant to be underwater, Melissa. Like, this is not safe." This part of me is going, we're good. Stop trying to manage it. There's a world here that wants to be expressed and seen and known and had. Yet this programming, which, let's be honest, it's helpful. Yeah? It gets us from A to B. It's helped us survive up until this point. This wants us to thrive. This keeps us going in the same way, which sometimes is helpful. When we live our life through these lenses, we're living our life through patterns. We're living our life through conditions. We're living our life through unconscious strategies. And our job as awakening ones, what are we awakening into? We're awakening into our consciousness. We're making the unconscious conscious so that we can evolve and grow, so that evolution can happen, so that we can make a difference in the world. Not to fix it. This will have you believe that these things are broken. When we live from these overlays, when we live from the patterning, we ask questions like, what is wrong with me? When we live from our divine blueprint, we ask, what now? Where's the growth here? What am I doing here? And I see this in the healing space. I see this in the healing space a lot. And I've noticed there's probably about 5 or 6, but I'm going to pick 3 today. I've noticed these 3 personalities, maybe identities, maybe leaks, maybe overlays that are keeping us from living our design and living our destiny. The first one, I want to know if you identify this. So number 1, the seeker. Who's this? This was me. You're always learning. You're always preparing. You're always looking for the new thing. You always want to do the next thing. But you're never ready. Just when I've got one more thing, then I'll do it. Oh, they've been invited to speak on stage, but I can't because I don't know what I'm talking about, even though you've been doing this work for 20 years. Oh, I could go on this podcast. Oh, I'm going to write a blog, but I don't really know. I'm going to do a bit more research. The seeker. That we get caught in these loops and these cycles of, I just need more. I just need one more thing. We can have evidence of that because we have certificates stacked up. Yet we still find ourselves in the same place that we were in, just more informed. But we've not really grown. to the level that we've thought. So give me a 1 if that's you, or write in there the seeker. I'm a seeker. We're seekers. There's no coincidence that we're seekers. Now, the thing with the seeker, when we live it from here, the seeker is going to keep on trying to find something more. When we live it from here, we understand that part of our soul makeup is, I want to learn. I'm curious. I have this deep devotion to truth. I want to know everything. I've got hair in my face. I want to know everything about everything. You have a capacity for wisdom. And you're designed to embody this and to create the wisdom and to live from it, not just collect it. When you're a seeker and you're here, you're looping. When you're a seeker and you're here, you're evolving and you're growing. You're the one that people come to learn. You're the ones running the workshops. You're the ones that are the really interesting ones and interested ones at the dinner table. Because you have this capacity for learning and growing and more. This is the difference in this living. It's not about this disappearing. It's about this integration. Okay. This is for you in Facebook, by the way, as well. You can join in with me. Okay. Number 2, the fixer. This is the one that everyone comes to for advice all the time. You see somebody and you feel that's suffering from something and you feel it so strong. You're carrying the weight of their pain. You're feeling their pain. You're feeling that whatever you do to help is never enough. You'll feel responsible, and this can be for friends, family, and also for clients. We're responsible for that. Somebody comes to me with a broken leg, and I'm a healer, so my job is to fix their leg. Somebody comes to me and they're sad, and my job is to just help them feel better. But whatever we do, we just don't feel like, we either feel resentful in the end because we're like, oh my God, they've taken everything from me. Or we feel like we've not done enough. And we're trying sometimes to micromanage the outcome. Who's been there? Give me a 2. Or say I'm the fixer, or I'm a healer. This is quite often what we see in the healing archetypes. 2 2s, 2s, right? We're carrying the weight of responsibility. Now, when we're coming from here, we're the ones that feel responsible for the outcome. We're the one that has, taken on, well, this is what it means to fix it. And this was definitely me. Someone would come to me with a cold and I'll be like, I'm going to show them how powerful my Reiki is. And I'm going to wave my hands over and their cold's going to go away. And then when it didn't, I'd be like, oh my God, the Reiki didn't work. It didn't work. Oh God, now they're worse. Or like, well, who's had that when you've given Reiki to someone and then they're like, now I feel worse. And you're like, oh my God, I did it wrong. Didn't do it wrong. Because when we come into the gold of this, when we understand this, we understand that we're the ones that have this deep, profound empathy, that we can feel how other people, so we can understand people, so that we can meet them where they are. And that we become this natural space holder so that they can feel like they are held and supported, so that they can evolve and grow. And our job is to transmit that truth, is to hold that space, is to be like, you know what, I see you and I feel you and I love you and I accept you. when you enter the Akashic records, you realize that nothing is judged. And that at no point do the records go, oh, I know how to fix this. But they go, I see you. I feel you. I love you. The healer, the fixer, isn't here to fix anything because there's nothing to fix. Our job is to evolve and to grow and to come into full acceptance of. I know what it's like to walk a mile in your shoes. If you've ever been held in that way, you know how powerful that is. Because what we often do is we leave it into anger and shame and all of this. And then the last one, and I'm sure we've all been there, the intuitive. We get this wisdom, we get this insight. We're like, I felt something, but I don't know whether I should tell them. I don't know if I was just making it up. What if I tell them and it's wrong? And so we're waiting for a sign and another sign. Give me a sign, people. Give me a 3 if you've done that. You've got the hit. You know you're intuitive, right? But then you doubt it, then you wonder, then you ask for more. We're scared of getting it wrong. That's this. This is your programming. This is the conditioning that said to you, no, if you can't see it and touch it and feel it, it's not true. And your overlay, your divine blueprint is going, we're an intuitive. The intuitive's gift is this accurate sensing, that we have this ability to see between worlds. And whether that is as a medium or as a psychic or as a healer or as a channel or as somebody that moves into these different energetic frequencies or realms, that we have this deep perception and this deep intelligence that goes beyond what we can just see and feel. Our job is to hold that and to be the channel of that. And the more we come into this, the clearer it is. The more I integrate it, there's not a shadow sitting above it, which is the communication channel, if you like, between me and this. Most of you have said 1, 2, and 3. And if these have been those frustrations and those things that have caused you to loop and to shame, I want you to know 2 things. That 1, you have a gift, and 2, you've got something to integrate. There's nothing wrong with you. If I'd have been born psychic, yes, and never had any doubts about my psychic ability, I wouldn't be a very good intuitive development teacher. But because I've had my doubts, because I've had to learn it, because I've had to work through it, I can meet you where you are and we can move through it together. But here's the thing, is that every time we live from this overlay, every time we live from here, we keep reinforcing it. We keep bringing more. Someone said yesterday about they've got the yellow pages sitting above there, right? It becomes bigger. But every time we integrate it, we strengthen this blueprint, we grow. It's like in the training, somebody gave this really good analogy. We spoke about the puzzle pieces, and she said it's like this ever expanding puzzle. And so this was my puzzle piece, and now it's growing and it's getting bigger. This is what we mean by evolution and growth. We're not trying to grow another finger, although I am trying to grow more arms. We're doing lots of goddess work. And I think it'd be very handy, and it's still not worked. So if anyone knows how to do that, just answers on a postcard, please. but we're growing. It's this that we want to grow, not this. We got it? Give me a 1. This all makes sense. We want to grow the blueprint. We don't want to grow the overlays. But every overlay that's there is not a mistake, is not something to be fixed. Amazing. And so, when we begin to live our life through the Akashic field, when we truly know this, then something radical happens. We realize that our desires aren't selfish. They're actually instructions that have come from here. And our desires, we begin to understand that they've come through us because they're for us. And that is how we change the world. Not through sacrifice, not through taking on everyone's stuff, not through looping from things, not through learning more stuff, not through shrinking, not through bypassing, not through trying to correct somebody's mistakes, but through integration. And through us who are here to understand that I'm leading the way. I'm leading the way. And that was my invitation. As I began to see this so clearly, something became very unavoidable for me. Through all of the work that I've done, especially through my psychotherapeutic work and my shamanic work and my Reiki energetic experience. For me, my invitation was, how do we create something that works with this reality and not against it? How do we make this accessible so that it works every day without having to be psychic, without having to already fully trust our intuition, without having to be, you know, all of the incredible things that we see out there, but just where we are. And there I was at 4 a.m. sitting under the stars in front of a mountain range in Bulgaria, where everything came through. And tonight, for the first time ever, publicly, after working with these incredible humans that I can see in front of me, some of you can't, for the last 3 months, where we've been practicing and growing and integrating and evolving this brand new healing modality. What came through me was the wisdom of the Akashic records, this depth of understanding, this knowing that our job is continual evolution and growth, this fundamental desire, this original imprint that we were born of love and we will die of love, and that everything in between is still full of love. That there is nothing wrong with us and there is nothing to fix. And the words of healing is not about fixing. Healing is about evolution and growth. And as I brought this through with this universal life force energy, this divine intelligence that is just here to help the evolution and growth, this creative force, this simplicity of, if I hold somebody in that perfection, if I hold somebody in that highest timeline, as I hold somebody in this divine blueprint, there's nothing that I need to do apart from simply hold this space. And that's it. That a full attunement came through me, which has now been passed to the 2 iterations of it to 30 people. And from here, drum roll, from here, Akashic Reiki was born. Akashic Reiki. Oh, I just had this wave. I just saw this like wave of goosebumps go over my screen. Akashic Reiki was born. Akashic Reiki is not a spin-off of Reiki. Akashic Reiki is a new healing lineage that has been founded on evolution and acceptance and wholeness. And it's rooted in this knowledge that nothing is broken. As it brings together this universal life force energy through the wisdom and the intelligence of the Akashic records, and we've paired it with applied psychotherapeutic intelligence. So what I've been doing in the background is creating an understanding and looking at how do all of these hundreds of psychotherapeutic practices, spiritual psychotherapeutic practices, come in and work in the Akashic field. And we've brought them all together so that we can see how intuition works, we can see how creation works, we can see how healing works, and we can create it in real time. This isn't any I broke the internet. I may pin me again. Okay, am I back? Can you hear me? Can you see me? I was just talking to myself. I was like, where's everybody gone? We're back. And let me see if we get back on Facebook. This is not the Akashic Records with Reiki inside it. It's not energy healing plus Akashic Records. It's not Reiki with a spiritual add-on, and it's not just a spin-off. What makes Akashic Records different is you'll be accessing the Akashic Records through attunement. You don't need to be psychic. You don't need to learn how to read past lives. You don't need to fix. In fact, it's the opposite. You don't need to fix. You don't need to diagnose. You don't need to pathologize. This is healing, this is intuition, and this is manifestation in one coherent system. Akashic Reiki is for you if you don't want to dabble anymore and you want to become masters of your own gifts. Akashic Reiki is for you if you want to be living through your divine blueprint, and not just that. If you want to be creating this real change for your clients so that they can live from this space too. Akashic Reiki is working from a level where patterns are written, not just where they are acted out. So many healing modalities are sitting here trying to fix this. And you know what? They work to a degree. What we are doing is we are working from the place where the patterns are written, and we're holding it so that all they can do is evolve. Akashic Reiki is not trying to change your behavior, but the great paradox. Let me know, the other practitioners in there. Has it helped you change your behaviors? Has it helped you change the way that you see the world? The Akashic Reiki changes the record that generates the behavior, not to manipulate the records, but to change the vibrational quality of the records that we're holding so that we become more into this. I've developed this system understanding how the Akashic records can be viewed, and knowing that with this system you don't actually need to read them. That number 3, that intuitive, I don't trust myself. You don't even at this stage need to. You become coherent with the Akashic records. You live from the Akashic records. And then the rest of it echoes out. Joe said it's a way of life now. My energy and outlook has shifted so much. It doesn't matter if you're not psychic, if you can't see or read things, if you don't trust your intuition yet. It doesn't matter, because I saw all of those things as barriers to entry. And the paradox, the more we live from here, the more psychic we become and the more intuitive we become. Oh, it's so annoying, isn't it? Let it go. And then it will come. It's like, but this is the difference from working from here. I am not psychic enough. Fix me. To you have everything that you need. Reveal me. There's the fundamental difference. Stacia says, I'm recognizing so many ways I was holding myself back without even realizing. And I was able to heal unwanted patterns without making it mean anything. This is the thing. When we make it mean something, we're putting more of the overlays on our blueprint. Akashic Reiki is not about fixing, clearing, or removing anything. We're not here to delete wisdom. We're here to integrate it. This whole shadow work loop, this whole healing fatigue, this whole, is there more? It's unnecessary in this era, in this day and age. Akashic Reiki is here to help usher in this new change. Because if we keep on doing healing as we have been doing healing, what I see is we're leading to burnout and frustration and to perpetuating more of our programmings. We were never broken to begin with. You have everything that you need. And for me, my mission, my job is to help this become more available. Why? Because then we're guided, then we're more intuitive, then we sit in love, then we're more compassionate, then we make the big bold moves, then we understand that what I do for me is also what I do for us and what I do for everybody, right? That as I heal, I don't heal alone. We need to stop holding our clients in their woundings, but holding them in their blueprint. Because that's how we become empowered. That's how we become alive. You come to me with a broken leg. My job is not to fix your broken leg. My job is to hold you in the knowing that your body is perfectly designed and placed that it will heal. And that there's a message in there and that there's some gold in there somewhere should we choose to look. And the paradox, like we'll probably heal quicker. That's not the point. That's the paradox. If you choose to come and join Akashic Reiki, which is open now for the first time to the public. Last time it was only open to my students, to my previous, current, past students. This time I'm opening it to the world. I'm going to be having limited spaces for this first cohort or this first public cohort. It's tried and tested now. The manual is incredible and beautiful. And those of you that choose to join this one, you're going to be part of something new. You're going to be part of this evolution. You're going to be part of this change. And what I have done with Akashic Reiki is I understand it is the responsibility starts with me. To help, new healing modalities come out every now and then. The gravitas of this one, my job is to use my position and the knowledge that I have and the opportunities that I have to help create this so that it becomes the world movement that I want it to be, that it deserves to be. Because I've seen, so with some of the people that are here, with Joe, with Nikki, with Mac, with Amy, Stacia, I've seen these incredible changes happen. And yesterday when I was having my little chat with the divine, and I was like, this is what happens. This needs to get out in the world. This deserves the biggest launch that we can do for it. So what I've done is I've built this incredible website, which is this close to being ready, which is going to be holding all of the practitioners, which means that you as practitioners will have a resource where you can refer people to, where they'll understand what Akashic Reiki is. Because who has ever had a new healing modality and you're like, well, what is it you do? And you're like, well, I'm breaking the internet. I'm just going to make me small and hope that that changes things. Let me know if I'm back. I'm talking about the practitioner website, which I will be sharing with you this week. And I need the internet to be back again. Internet gods, let me back. Because I've got one more thing I want to tell you before we close for the day. Am I back? Can you see me? Okay. So this is brand new information. In 6 weeks' time, I think it is, I am going to be hosting an in-person event in London called the Akashic Way. And the Akashic Way is a celebration of Akashic Reiki, of all of the things that we've spoken about. And the attendees will receive a beautiful initiation, an experience and integration into the Akashic records. We'll be delving into and diving into a lot of the things that we were speaking about through journeys and through talks. You'll get a chance to meet some of my practitioners who are my special guests for the day. I have limited tickets available for that. If you would like to come, you'll get an email after this call with all of the details and all of the information. But what I am doing, if you come and join Akashic Reiki, you will come as my guest to the in-person event, which is going to be amazing. I have hired Conway Hall. Does anyone know Conway Hall in London? I swear I met the man himself. FYI. I went to Conway Hall back in 2018, I think it was, and it was the first time I met Kyle Gray. And I remember sitting in there and I was like, this place is amazing. And I was like, one day, I remember one day I'm going to be here. And then I forgot about it, as you do. And then a few weeks ago, when Sam was doing, let's just all take a moment for Sam again. We were back in Conway Hall, and I was like, I was about to organize this event, and then suddenly I'm like, where else could it be? And I contacted them, and they've got a library, and I'm like, that's where we're gonna do it. And so it's going to be a very special venue. You'll get an email which has got all of the details on there. So that's open to you whether you come and join Akashic Reiki or not. And if you decide to join us, then the gift of the ticket is from me. Now, I understand it's a big decision. And so my diary, my calendar is open for the next week. So if you want to speak to me about joining, about whether it's suitable for you, about what is possible for you, then please, again, you will have an email in your inbox. I'll make sure it's on the Facebook group as well, where you can book a call in my diary. If you would like to speak to one of my practitioners, then let me know. I've had a few of them say that that's okay. So I will just put you in touch with them, and there's no sales pitch. There's no pressure. They will just give you an honest chat about what it's like to be in Akashic Reiki. So that's it. Akashic Reiki is now here. And my knowing and my feeling and my hope and my desire is just how this came through me. And I knew it was for me. And I knew it was going to be something that went beyond. my hope is that if you feel that too, then we'll make this work for you. Right now, the opportunity is to come and to be one of the first of the practitioners, so that you can come and you can start living this, your divine blueprint, in trust, in clarity, in understanding, and success. And that you can do the same for your clients. Because believe me, when you do something like this, it ripples far beyond what you ever thought was possible. Who's excited? Give me a 5. Excited. If you have any questions, I'm going to stop the live stream in a minute. If you have any questions, then we can chat on here now, or you can DM me, or you can speak to some of my practitioners, or when I stop the live stream, we can have a little chat. And so the revolution has begun. I am so excited. I am so glad that all of you were here, and everyone in Facebook land, thank you for being here. And yeah, I can't wait to get started. The next cohort's going to start in March, so we've got a little bit of time. And I'll see some of you in London on February the 12th. Okay, now I need to work out how to stop live streaming. There we go. Bye bye, Facebook land. Okay, it was just us beauties. Does anyone here have any questions, comments, anything that you would like to bring to the table? Oh, I should give you my link as well. Moment. I've already had a couple of calls today. Oh, 22. It was 2022 here, so it's all the twos. I've already had a couple of calls with some people that were here last night, so I'm super excited to see how the group is already developing. And I will have, well, Anna Marie is one of my masters. She'll be there for the next cohort. And hopefully Vicky, one of my other masters, will be in a beautiful space to come back there. So the group is already coming together, and I understand that this is a beautiful invitation, and I just want you to know that I'm here, that I'm ready, and that I'm open to your questions. But if there is nothing else, the link is there. An email will be coming out if it hasn't already, which explains everything. And I'll be seeing some of you. Amazing practitioners on the practitioner website. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you all. I will see you all very soon. Lots of love. Bye bye.